Alright, I gotta get these dishes washed up because I normally don't just wash the dishes up as soon as I get them dirty because, quite frankly, to me, it's a waste of water and dish soap for one person because I don't eat that much to make a big mess in the kitchen when I'm cooking for just me. If I make a sandwich, it's just a paper plate and the knife that I use to spread the whatever the sandwich was made out of. If I eat a bowl of soup or cereal, it's using one of these things, a Cool Whip dish, and a spoon. So there's really no need to make a sink full of water for just that. So, and the reason I'm leaving this water in here like this, in case you're wondering why I don't dump it out, I have a drip in my cold water, and I've got it completely turned off underneath the sink. So when I fill up these bowls, if there's any hot water and it gets too hot, I can use this on the wash water only. I can't do it on the dishwashing water. So that's why I'm leaving that in there. Because I wash in these dish pans like this. And I fill the rinse water up first because it usually comes out cold to start and then it gets hot. But I can't add any water to it because the cold water is turned off. But in the soap water, if it gets hot, too hot to put my hands in there, I can use these with the water in it to make it better. And here's a little tip for you. If you put your dish soap in one of these pumps and only squirt out 4 to 6 pumps, you're going to save a whole lot rather than just putting your Dawn dish bottle. Because when you squirt out that dish bottle, you're going to use a whole lot more. So that's why I do that. So right off the bat, I'm going to have to add some because it's a little bit too warm for me. So that's why I do it. It kind of cools it down a little bit. It's still hot. Ooh, it's hot. I'm going to have to put even more in there. Let's see, maybe that'll make it better. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I got to get in touch with my landlady and have her come and have her send her husband over here to work on that drip. I tried to fix it myself. I bought a kit at the hardware store, and I watched a YouTube video on how to do it. And either I didn't do it right, because all you had to do really was pull out a spring and put a little stopper in there and then push it down and reattach it. But even after I did that, it's still dripping. So I'm thinking probably this sink right here is just so old that it doesn't matter what you do to it. It's still going to drip. Eventually the hot water will drip. And so I'm going to have to contact my landlady and tell her to have him come and just replace the whole thing. Because that's all I can figure is I need to get a new sink. And that'd be nice because maybe I can talk them into getting me one of them sinks that comes up like that. And it's got like one handle that you turn. And then that way I can have less, get rid of these two things and have more room up there. So that's what I got to do. I got to get in touch with her about that sink. And I'll tell her that I tried to fix it myself. And I'll go ahead and tell them that. Because I didn't break nothing on it. I just didn't get that little rubber stopper seat thing in there in the right position. I still honestly believe that I could fix it. I go back to the store and buy another one of those kits. Those kits only cost like $1.92. And try it again. I honestly think that I just didn't get it in there in the right position. You know, like if it was crooked and I pushed it down, it's not going to fill it. So you got to get it exactly flush. Push it down in there, and I think that's probably what it is. So I may end up going and trying one more time before I actually get in touch with her. I like to fix things myself around here before I contact the landlord. You know, I don't like to bother her. They've got several rent houses. I don't know exactly how many. They don't have a bunch because that's not their main source of income. Her husband had a plumbing business for years. He's retired from that. But they own this deal, I don't know what you call them, a venue where you can have weddings and receptions and parties and stuff, and they rent that out. They also own some buildings downtown that they rent out to different merchants and stuff. And for a while, in one of the buildings, she was having a weight loss class where we would meet once a week. I think it was on Thursday night around 6:30. And they were giving out prizes and stuff to the people that lost the most weight. And they would weigh you when you first came, and then they would weigh you every week. And then the person who lost the most that week would get a prize. And then at the end of the time, the person that had lost the most would win the big prize. And she did that for a while, and then I guess it got to be where it was too much trouble to have to stop what she was doing and come up there every Thursday night. And we would, because the people, we would stay there. We didn't just go in there and weigh and then leave. The people would actually stay there, and we would discuss things like foods that we would eat, different diets that we would try, things that we would do to lose weight. And she would have, a couple of times she hired different people to come in and talk about losing weights. One person she hired to come in was talking about that, I don't know what it's called. I want to say carb. It was like a carb program that you get on. What is that called? I can't even think of the name of it now. It was real popular here for a while, and some people are still doing it. But one of the main things you had to have to do it was drink coffee in the morning to get started, called Bulletproof Coffee. And I'm not a coffee drinker, so I wasn't interested in that. And as you can see, most of my dishes are just these bowls. Because I've been eating chili dogs a lot lately. And I just put my chili dog bun in here with a hot dog on top of it. And that's what I've been eating my chili dogs out of. And then plus, I also eat soup out of them. And just about anything that I eat that has to have a bowl, this is what I use. And I keep these and I use them until they get cracks up around the edges right here. And then once they get cracks, I don't throw them away even then. I save them and use the plastic for projects. Like whenever you watch that video where I put that tarp down in the yard, I cut out little squares of plastic like this to put the nail in to hold that tarp in the ground. So even then I hang on to them and save them. I don't throw them away. Even after they get cracks in them, they're not good. And I have to hang on to the ones I got because I don't really buy Cool Whip that much anymore. Unless I got like a specific recipe that calls for Cool Whip, but I just simply don't even have Cool Whip around the house anymore. I used to keep 2 tubs of it in the freezer at all times for recipes, but I found out that I was keeping them in there for so long before I ever come across a recipe where I needed it. So basically now what I do is I just keep them if a particular recipe comes along that calls for Cool Whip. Then I go to the store and buy the Cool Whip specifically for that recipe. So I just don't keep them around. And sometime today, I've got to get the ingredients out of the freezer and put in my crock pot because the dogs, their food's getting low for the girls. So I'm going to have to cook up another batch of my crock pot dog food for my girls. And everything that I use in it is frozen. And then I go into this ice box in here and get leftover vegetables and mashed potatoes. Anything I got in there that's extra. And I just throw that in too, along with the regular stuff that I use. So I've got that to do. It's early in the morning. It looks like it's clouded out there. The forecast says it's supposed to rain for the next couple of days. So that kind of cool things down. I have been leaving my air conditioner on during the day. And then in the evening when the sun sets, I've actually been turning it off and sleeping under a fan. I have the ceiling fan on, and then one of those big stand-up round fans. And I've just been sleeping underneath that to kind of save on electric. Because when I got my utility bill for last month, it was a little bit higher than I normally like for it to be. I don't like seeing that since I'm not getting to work anymore. My job kind of went south. My new job that I just got kind of went south. I'll have to talk to y'all in one of the videos here lately about that and tell you what the deal was on that. I don't really understand it myself, but I can explain to y'all as much as what I know about happened. Because, like I say, I really don't understand what happened with it myself. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that here. This video is me washing dishes, and I'm done with that. And I washed the dishes in these pans. I don't like scrap food to go down my sink because I don't have a disposal. So what I do, after I get through washing dishes, I take one of these and one of these strainers like this, and I dip the water out and strain it in here. That way any little crumbs of food I can catch out of my dishpan in the strainer. Now, I don't have to dip the whole entire pan. Just till I'm able to pick it up like this. And then I pour the rest of it in there. Then I rinse these off and put them in the dish strainer to get dry. But I'll show you the reason I do that. If you look, you can see all the food and scraps that it catches. If I just turn that pan up and dumped it in the sink, all of this would be going down my drain. Like I said, I just take that in there and dump it in the garbage. I don't like bothering my landlord any more than I have to. And if I dumped it down the sink and got a clogged up sink, then I'd have to be calling him and saying, hey, can you come and run a snake down the drain? So this keeps me from having to do that. Then I just rinse this back out again because it's already washed. I get it out of the dish strainer. Put it back in the dish strainer. So that's it for this video. Now my dishes are done for another few days. Like I said, I don't wash them every day. Just every few days. When I get a few. So thanks for coming to watch this video. And remember, life is short. So make it a great one. And y'all come back and see us now any old time. Bye for this one.